Let's talk about staying legal on the water, measuring fish, and how to handle fish. Something you need to know. Stay tuned. Hey, all about fishing with Big Kev. Hey, welcome back. While we were out, we caught some fish. So now we're going to measure them and talk about how we're going to handle them. So first off, every lake, no matter what state you're in, has a set of rules for each body of water. They'll have a creel limit, which is how many fish of what species you can take, and they'll have a length limit on each species. Some will have no limit, some will have some kind of a limit set. The reason that's done is so that the DNR, Parks and Wildlife, they can manage the lake. They can say, okay, we've got an overpopulation of this fish this size, so we're going to say this is what the ones you keep, the others you got to throw back. So hopefully that makes you understand why we have to measure fish and keep track of the species and what we take. Abide by those rules because they do come with fines if you break those rules. The game wardens will give you a ticket. So make sure you carry a tape measure or some kind of measuring device if you're going to keep fish. It's the best practice to have. And once you fish a body of water all the time, it's just secondhand. But there's a book you can get from your DNR, at least in the state of Kansas, that has every body of water on it. And it tells you the lake limit and the creel limit of each species for that lake. So for instance, in Kansas here, we got Milford Lake. It has a set of rules for all those fish. We have the same fish in Canopolis Lake, but it's a different set of rules. Different lake limits, different amounts of fish you can keep. So make sure you know which ones. Worst case, they should have a kiosk, a sign at each lake to let you know what you can have and what you can't have and how many. So pay attention to that. If you get a hold of your book, put it in your tackle box. Take it with you. It's good for the whole year. All right, let's talk about handling fish. So when you handle fish, anything that you catch that's over a pound, you want to hold it by the lip straight up and down like so. Notice the pictures that I'm posting with this. Hold it by the lip. That way gravity's up and down and you're not going to break the lip of the fish by holding it. The minute you turn that fish like this with one hand and try to hold him this way, you're going to break the jaw or the lip of that fish and it'll no longer live if you let it go back in the water. So what you need to do if you're going to hold it this way is support the belly and hold it by the jaw. And you can see in the pictures that are posted how that's done. So that's any fish over a pound. If you got a small little panfish and want to hold it up, that's fine. But anything over a pound, use both the belly and the hand in the mouth or vertically mouth only on that. Now on your channel cat, catfish, blue cat, they have a spine on each side and one on the top. So what you want to do, and usually when you catch them, those go, that's their defense mechanism. They all fire these little pokey points out at you. So what you want to do is hold the fish by the belly and keep those points in control away from your body. If I hold it by the belly, there's nothing on the belly, but I've got control of this point, and this point away from my body. I can't get poked with it. I can take the fish hook out. I can hold it and show the fish and not hurt it. And plus, if I release it, I'm not going to get poked by that barb. Those are their defense mechanism. Now, it won't hurt you. You're not going to lose a limb over it. It will sting, and it'll stay sore for a few days. So if you get poked, don't freak out. It's not the end of the world. But let's keep from doing that, okay? So that's how you would hold a catfish. And again, look at the pictures posted and see how that's done. So let's talk about measuring fish. So right here, I have a measuring device. This is a foldable one that I keep in my boat. It folds up. But have some kind of measuring device. Use that device, and you're going to stick the fish right there, the tip of his lip on the bump board of that board, or the end of your tape measure, and pinch that tail. Pinch that tail and get as much of that fish as you can. You pinch it, it'll grow a little bit. And then measure it. So this is 16¼ inches on this fish. So if this fish was required to be an 18-inch fish, it's not going to pass. You'd have to throw it back. But let's say it's a bass and it has to be 15 inches. That's 16¼ That fish would be legal to keep. And your game wardens will ask you for that. They will ask and they will check, and they might even measure them. Again, put the lip on the nose of your bump board or the end of your tape measure. Pinch the tail. And see what you got. That one's 12½, 13 inches, basically. So that's what that one is. So on your fish, make sure you handle them correctly. Make sure their length limit is correct. And keep track of how many you've got of each species. That's very important. I've got one of those little thumb click, like if you got people coming through a gate and you want to count the bodies. I keep one of those on the boat. So we get on some of these lakes that have 50 crappie per man. You got 2 guys or 3 guys in the boat. Unless you're going to dig through that live well and count every single fish 50 times because you lose track, I put the clicker right there by my live well, and whoever puts a fish in the live well, use that clicker and set it down, and then we keep track that way. And that it takes the guesswork out of it and keeps fishing fun. So I hope this helps you out on keeping legal. Again, look at your DNRs. They might have a printout or something. A lot of it's on the web too, on each lake. But know what you got, what you can keep, length limits, the creel limits, how many of each species or whatever you're targeting at the time. So stay safe, stay in the law, tie lines. Take care, everyone.